Let's see.
You want me to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
So I was working on the auto picker, so Rob did the majority of the work, but we still had to figure out what to do with making sure we're mentioning the right people, so we added that at the very end of the day, so that's done. We diverged from using the release tools to perform the CE to EE merge, and we just modified this plan to create a trigger to our existing merge train tools. So Yor created a merge request to update merge train so it accepts additional variables that allow us to configure the project as well as the branches that we want to do the merge from. And we've got a merge request in for the release tools to do that trigger. The one line item here, the pig GitLab repos and push to dev, we can't exactly do that because we're relying on the merge train to perform that action. So
correct.
I think that's still a what do we do next for that particular line item. And security is still a to be determined situation.
All right. Want to tell me about how this goes from what we currently have, like what changes? So we issue, like RMs issue a chatops command to pick the MR into the stable branch.
Yeah, so that we have the ability to set a cadence on the auto deploy picker to automatically pick stuff, merge them into the pick branches that are coming from Jarb's work above. The only manual step that we still need to determine is the syncing to the dev instance. And then below that would be the trigger to the staging environment.
All right. So no more I'm ready to pick, but it's always whatever you applied, we attempt to pick automatically into the auto-deploy branches.
Precisely. And if the pick fails for whatever reason, we notify minimally the author of that merge request.
We mention them, right?
Yes.
We really specifically like scream at them.
Yes.
All right. Awesome.
Big thanks to York and Robert for assisting me.
All right, awesome. I think that's the major change, right? Like the merge train is now part of our process, like the release process as well.
Yeah, so we did merge train, and I personally for the deploy tracking, we decided that so instead of trying to mess with Prometheus, Chef, or whatever sort of hacks we could come up with, we decided we would keep track of this in a flat JSON file in the deployer. And the idea is that we trigger this at the end of the deploy pipeline, store the version, and then using that database we can generate the QA issues based on the previous version we stored in the current one. And generating new QA issues would still be done using the release tools, which we would just trigger using the pipeline trigger.
Awesome.
So today I worked on the auto-deploy pipeline, trying to switch it to using tags instead of branches for the auto-deploy, coming up with a tagging convention which incorporates the omnibus SHA and the EE SHA, which will then translate into the version that we expose on the deployment after it finishes. There was some challenges in like changing the omnibus pipeline to do what we want, but we have an MR. It seems to be okay. One thing that we didn't talk about is whether we want to clean up tags, because it's going to get pretty messy, especially if we are doing a tag per deployment and doing a deployment every day.
That's a good point.
Of course, tags are cheap, but then again, they aren't cheap in the UI when you're, doing queries for them and things like this and storing them in the database.
That makes sense. We could do something like when we tag a final release, right? 11.10.0, for example, for self-managed, we go and do like push delete tags that are 11.10 and then whatever else is there for the. Shouldn't be that difficult.
I'm still a little bit on the fence on the naming, that it doesn't have anything auto deploy inside of it. Right now it's just 11-10, which is the target release, and then EE SHA and then Omnibus SHA. So it's fairly generic. On one hand, it's harder to identify quickly as an auto-deploy tag. On the other hand, it looks nice. I think it'll be nicer when that is reported as the version and have like auto-deploy in the version string that you get from staging, for example. It also leaves the option to maybe even use that as the thing that goes to production.
So, I mean, we can do that. We can. That's, I think, a nitpick. Basically, we can add that. We can add that if we see that we miss something, right? Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Cool. I think let's wrap up for today. I think I'm a bit done.